Thank you so much for being with us. I had the privilege of spending some real quality time with Stephen Gibson. Stephen Gibson is just an incredible man. He and his wife, Betty, have had a wonderful life. They've done some incredible things, and they're giving back. A handful of years ago, they started the Academy for Creating Enterprise. And the whole goal was is to be able to help people to change their life, to improve their life, to improve the lives of their children. And they were honored a couple nights ago at Utah Valley University. We had a chance to have dinner with them. I've had lunch with Stephen a handful of times. Just a great individual. And they have 735 chapters all around the world. I would definitely look them up. And, those are the kind of things that we want to promote. These are wonderful people that make a huge difference. And they have a little bit different method of learning. Our method of learning is really doing a lot of this online, because we want to be able to teach people all over the world. They take those people and they bring them into a smaller group, and they work in smaller chapters. And so definitely go check out theacademy.com. And, all of you need a small business. Every one of you need a small business. As I mentioned earlier, I had a small business when I was a teenager. I was probably 13, 14 years of age, and I was selling Christmas cards door to door. I've done all kinds of small businesses. And you're going to do small businesses too, because as you do those small businesses, you're going to learn from them. And it's one thing to think about it, but if you go do it, you're going to get feedback. You're going to learn how to do it differently, how to solve bigger problems, how to add more value. And that's all business is solving problems and adding more value and helping other people. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the 25 steps, because every one of you need a small business. Every one of you need a side hustle. Every one of you needs some extra money. And then when you make that extra money, I'm going to tell you to put the majority of it into your wealth formula. You're going to take money every month. As you get that money, we want to get it into long term. We want to start growing our money trees. And those trees need to have strong roots. Otherwise, when the storm comes, the trees get toppled over. This has been a very interesting winter for us, and we have a couple of trees in our backyard that actually fell over. And as you go out and look at that tree, the roots didn't go down very well. It was kind of on a hilly side, and it just didn't have really great roots. And when the snow hit, it was heavy on top, and it toppled some trees. So our goal is to have you create a whole orchard of money trees. And the way you do that is you do that with small businesses as well as real estate and other things. But there's 25 things that we want to kind of talk about. So we're going to go there now. And I'm going to talk to you about these because I believe in all of these, because I've done these as well. But these are ones that are on the website that you're welcome to go through. And these are wonderful things. So when you're going to start a business, we want you to start small, but think big. Donald Trump says, if you're going to be thinking, you might as well think big. And he's a big thinker. And so that's what we want you to do. Start small, do something, even if it's just okay. It doesn't have to be great. It doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, we don't want it to be perfect. We want to figure out how to fail so we don't go there. We want to figure out the systems that work and have fun, because business is a game and games are fun. So let's go have some fun. So number one is to start small and think big. Start something, do it, learn from it, and then continue to do more stuff as you continue to grow. Okay, that's the first one. Number two is you need to find out what people want. There's an adage that says that if you want to be a great salesperson, this guy is so good, he could sell ice cubes to Eskimos. Well, that's pretty stupid. If he was a really good business person, he'd figure out how to sell heaters to Eskimos because it's so cold. Find a problem and find the solution. And if you can deliver that, that will make a huge difference. And that's what you need to do. So sell, market, help. If you'll do all of that, people just naturally flock to what you do. Walt Disney said, do what you do so well that people will come back again and again, and they will bring their friends. The same is true with selling. And selling, it's not really selling, it's marketing, it's solving problems. Do what you do so well that people will keep coming back. They'll keep buying your products, and they will do it again and again, and they will tell their friends. That's exactly what you want to do in your business. Number three, as you're getting started, you need to focus, and get that plane off the runway. Get that rocket up into space. When they launch a rocket, it takes the vast majority of the energy just to get it up into the air and to get it into the atmosphere, out of this atmosphere and into orbit. Once it's into orbit, they say that the breath of a baby can push that forward. So when you get started, we want you to focus, 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 get it up, get it going, chase that rabbit, figure out how to catch that rabbit, train other people how to do that, and then go find your next problem. In business, your goal is to find what the problem is, jump in, find people that can help you solve that problem, get smarter people than you are in that problem to solve it, and get out of their way and let them run with it, and then go look for the next problem. Your job is to find problems and solve those problems. But focus on whatever the problem is, get a solution, find people to help take it from there, and go look for the next project. Suggestive selling. Have you ever gone to the drive-thru at McDonald's and they say, "Would you like fries with that? Would you like to upsize that? Would you like something else with that?" Well, when you are selling and when you're providing things, if you have great things to add on to it, that is probably the most profitable thing you can do in your business. The most expensive thing you can do is find new customers. Customers are expensive to find. The cheapest, most profitable thing you can do is to keep customers coming back and again and buying more. And if you've got great products that can solve big problems, then you'll sell more of them. So you just need to suggest things, because most people aren't even thinking about these other things. And if you have the ability to solve more problems by having other products, then you need to suggest it to them so that they can do that. Number 5, keep your personal money and your business money separate. I own a lot of small businesses, and they each have their own checking account, because how are you going to know if that business is doing well if it's commingled with your own funds? Treat it like a business. So as you do your 5 steps and you start making money from your job, you and your spouse have its own checking account. And here's something I learned from my father-in-law. He says that we have a joint checking account, and then my wife has her own checking account. We decide on how much money that we're going to take and put into her account. And these are the things that she's responsible for, that she's naturally going to gravitate to. Here's the things I'm responsible for. And I don't tell her how to spend the money. Her job is whatever they decide that job might be. It might be food. It might be whatever it is, clothing for the kids. And he doesn't micromanage her that. This is the money, just like in a business. This is the money that's for you to be able to go do what you need to do. And I'll support you in that. And that's how they do it, because they keep things separate. So we keep stuff separate in our family. My wife has her own account that we put money into, that she spends, that she doesn't need to talk to me about. And then I have responsibilities that I do. So we do that on a personal basis. Now, when you start your small businesses, you want to be able to open up a separate account for those. Why? Because how are you going to know how well your business is doing if you are commingling it with your other funds? You want to be able to see how well it's doing and figure out ways to make it do even better. So separate, keep your money separate in 2 different groups. Pay yourself a livable wage. This is very important, but it's, the big thing that you've got to do is that maybe you have to sacrifice. When you're getting started, you've got to get this rocket up into space. You've got to get this airplane off the tarmac. You've got to get it into the air. And so you need to pay yourself, but you've also got to invest that money into your businesses. Many people still have a job and they have a small business on the side that they do both. And I'm suggesting you do that as well. Now, if you make a lot of money at your business as a professional, and you do very, very well, what you need to say to yourself, what's the best use of my time and the best use of my money? Every day you say, what's the best use of my time and the best use of my money? Now, if my neighbor is a neurosurgeon and he makes a lot of money as a doctor, he should not be out mowing lawns with his rental properties. Okay. He should not be fixing the plumbing. He should be in the operating room. He makes a lot more money as a doctor than he does as fixing up properties. Now, I would tell you that when you fix up properties, you do it so you learn what needs to be done and you know what needs to be done, and then you hire somebody else to do it. And then find the way that you can make the most money for your time and energy. you make more money as an investor than you do as somebody that is mowing the lawn on your real estate property, or by you flipping the burgers. Your job is to work on your business and not in your business. So, but sometimes you got to pay yourself a livable wage so that you can make that work. But at the same time, we want this business to grow. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Turn your inventory often. Okay, number 7, actually, we skipped to, it was to keep good records. And again, the reason we set separate bank accounts up is because we want to see how well this business is doing. Now, I have some businesses that all kind of flow together, but if you got really separate businesses with employees and stuff like that, have them separate and keep good records, because you will learn from the math. You know, everybody, you know, when I was quite young in my 20s, we were doing a lot of sales and I had a lot of expenses, and it was freaking me out because I equated that money with money. So, you know, here's $30,000. Well, that's as much as a car. And I had to change the way I thought about it. I had to change the game. One, it's a game and I can play the game and the games are fun. And then I made it math. It's just math. And I know that if I spent $30,000, but I knew because of other experiences that I could get back $40,000, then it turned into a math problem, and games are fun. So keep good records. If you don't keep records, you're not going to know what is working and what's not working. So that's very important. Turn your inventory often. There's a story about the McDonald's brothers. You know, as you look at Ray Kroc really took that idea, that franchise, but it was really the McDonald's brothers that started it all. And they had all these products that they were selling. They had they had waitresses and car hops, and they had plates and forks and everything else. And they had 25 items, and they did some research and found out that that 87% of their sales were coming from hamburgers, cheeseburgers, shakes, and fries. So they says, well, how do we get rid of everything else and turn our inventory quickly? How do we turn that inventory quickly? So that's what they did. And they got rid of everything else. They concentrated what they were good at, and then they were able to buy in bulk and get better pricing on everything. So instead of having a big warehouse of all kinds of stuff, they found out what was selling, and that's what they turned very quickly. Okay. Don't eat your inventory. That's self-explanatory. Figure out how to be able to sell it, and then make sure you help people along the way. Continually look for improvement. As you're running your business, every day you get out of bed, you should be saying to yourself, should I be doing anything else with my time? Should I be doing anything else with my money? What's the best things I can do with my time and the best things I can do with my money? And if you're doing the right thing, then you're on the right track. But you continually want to work on your business, not in your business. Now, what we mean by that is that so many people, like somebody's a good mechanic and they do really, really well. And they says, well, I don't want to work for this guy. He's making all the money and he's not paying me enough. And so he's a great technician, and he walks away from that to become a manager, but he doesn't know how to manage, and he actually has more failure. So that's the goal, is figure out what you're great at, concentrate on that, find people to come in and help you with whatever your weaknesses are. Buy low and sell high. That's very simple. You want to find products that you can buy and get a good margin, a margin that you can sell them at, and then figure out how to be able to turn around and sell them. And volume. Again, the only 3 ways that you can grow your business is you need more customers who buy more often, who buy more every time they buy. There's only 3 major things you can do. Get more customers. You can get them to buy more often. Instead of once a year, you get them buying twice a year, 3 times a year, weekly, whatever it is. And then when they do buy, figure out other products that are appropriate to sell with it so that they will buy more each time. That's how you sell. One of the best ways to sell more product. Okay. Inspect more, assume less. Again, turn your business into a game. Games are fun. Business is a game, and games are fun. So let's play the game. You need to inspect. You need to, and just don't guess that that's what's happening. You need to go find out what's happening and then make decisions from there. Be nice later, which kind of means to me, you need to be aggressive. You need to be a maniac. I remember my good friend Colette Larson. She had 2 children with cystic fibrosis. One of her children has passed away. Both of them have had double lung transplants. And, we had to figure out how to be a maniac and get that small business off the ground. And she was very, very successful with that, but she had to be very aggressive with it. But she was still nice, but she needed to be very aggressive with it. Work on your business. To get that plane off the tarmac, to get it off the runway, to get it in the air takes a lot of energy. To get that rocket up into the air takes a lot of energy. And we say we're only working half days from 7 in the morning till 7 at night. And sadly, sometimes that's what it takes to get this rocket up in the air, to get this plane off the ground. And but if you do it, try to find a way to involve your kids so that you can do this together, but work on your business. And sometimes you're going to have to really work hard to get it off the ground. But if you'll do things for a short period of time that other people won't do, you'll be able to do things the rest of your life that they won't be able to do. So find out what everybody else is doing and then don't do it. Okay, find out what the successful people are doing and do what they do. That's what our goal is. Make a profit every day. Instead of trying to figure out how to do this on a yearly basis or monthly basis or weekly basis, your goal is to figure out, what do you need to do every day? What do you need to do every day? I remember talking to lots of taxis. I've been all over the world, and I like to chat with people, and I'd ask, well, how much money do you need to make a day? And they had a figure. I'm going to work until I make this much money for the day, because they know that's what they do over time, that they'll be successful with it. Value your customer. Value your customer. Your customer is not always right, but your customer is always your customer. And the most expensive thing you can do is go find a new customer. The most profitable thing you can do is to get your customer to buy again, again, and again. So you need to value them. You need to take care of them. And again, the customer's not always right, but the customer is always the customer. Find a way to value them, that they feel like that they are part of the family and that you can make a difference in their lives. Hire slow, fire fast, which really means, figure it out, bring the right people in together, see how they do, put people on a probationary, say, I'm going to bring you in for 30 days. We're going to see how it works out. See if your talents are there. I've helped a lot of people, when you say fire, actually it's not fire, it's putting them in a place that is more appropriate. So I've had a lot of people that I've helped that worked for me, that I knew where they wanted to go, and I knew somebody that was more appropriate for them to work for. And I would actually introduce them or help them get their business off the ground. And that's the ultimate, is to help other people make big differences. 2 nights ago, my good friend, Jeff Birmingham, that we do a lot of investing with, talked to Steve Gibson. He says, Steve, did you know that you helped me launch a business 22 years ago? And they had a nice chat about it and stuff like that. So that's what you're trying to do. When I say fire, it's help people to get in the position where they can grow and be happy. That's your goal. Work on your business, not just in your business. That's crucial. That's key. Michael Gerber, there's a whole great program on Success and Money Foundation. In the course menu, simply go to Michael Gerber. Michael Gerber trained me when I was in my 20s. I took over as becoming the president of the company, and I took the company from $7 million to $36 million in sales very quickly. But I did that by following him and what he taught: how to build your business, how to work on your business, not in your business, how to create systems. The French fries never burn at McDonald's because there's a system that makes that happen. You want to be able to work on your business, not in your business, and figure out how to make that work and make the systems work so that this will start running and be more smoothly, and eventually run more on autopilot, that you don't have to spend all your time doing it. But you have to figure out how to do it, how to make it work, train the people to be able to pick it up and run with it. Okay. Buy on credit, sell for cash. You want to build your credit limits, your credit lines. Doesn't mean that you put a lot of money on your credit cards. If you're going to use credit, you automatically have them paid off every month. Now, automatically, we talk about automatic investment. We also, as I managed all these properties, we were doing about $500,000, $500,000 just in rental income on a monthly basis. Well, I had a lot of expenses too, mortgages and utilities and stuff like that. Everything was automated. Everything was automated. We never are paying anything late. because it's automated and it just happens. It's a machine. But you also want to build your credit as you find great products. You want to be able to get those products, but it doesn't mean we run up and borrow money on a credit card. 16, 18%, that's a lot. So we want to avoid that, but we want to have lines of credit that we can use. Sell for cash, try not to have a lot of long-term accounts payable, because that's the thing that's going to squeeze your business. So figure out how to get the cash out of it and be able to turn that inventory. Multiple suppliers, number 20, use multiple suppliers to get the best price. Also, with the supply chain issues, you need to be able to supply and have multiple groups be able to get you product, because if you don't get the product, things go bad. In the car business, they had whole lots of cars that were built, but they were missing some components, some electronic components, a $30, $40 piece of hardware that ran that truck, and they couldn't sell they had a $40,000 truck, $50,000 truck sitting on the car lot because they couldn't get that last piece. So you need to have multiple suppliers that can get you what you need. Purchase in bulk. But again, reduce your inventory, reduce the number of items that you have. Find out what's selling. As you've got 20 or 30 different products, find out, keep track of what's selling, and then sell more of that. And then you can purchase that in bulk so you can get the better pricing on it. That's really kind of key of where you're going. Have written agreements. I love to be able to use emails back and forth because it's written. We all have bad memories. You want to get stuff written down as you're buying real estate or anything. I get out a little notepad and we doodle out what the deal is. We talk about it. Most of my deals I did over a kitchen table. This is what I'd like to do. Would you take this? Would you take that? No, I'd like this. Well, let's get creative. Let's figure out how to solve this problem. And then we'd write it up on a yellow pad so that we both agreed to it. And then we would turn it over to the attorney or somebody else that would put it into the more legalese. But the deal points were all simple because attorneys will screw up more deals for you than anybody else will. Attorneys are supposed to come in with the legal side of it. Don't let them dictate your what the agreement is that you have with them. So make it simple, make it easy, get it in writing, and then go to the next step with it. Increase your sales, decrease your costs. You've got to have a margin. You got to have a margin of what you're buying it for and what you're selling it for. And you need to have that margin in there. And you need a margin of error and safety, because as the marketplace changes, your media cost might go up, your product cost might go up, and you have to be able to keep your margin in there or you're not going to be successful. So we need to be able to keep that going as well. Daily and weekly business goals. Absolutely. When I was in my early 20s, I used to have my goals written up on paper and they were on my ceiling. So as I'd go to bed, I'd look up at the ceiling and there's my goals. Right here, as I'm looking right now, my desk, there's my goals right there. There's 8 of them right there. Right over there on that wall are my goals for the foundation of what we want to get done in the foundation. Right over there are my goals as well. I mean, everywhere I look, I have my goals of where I'm going. And it's really, what is your purpose? You look at the foundation, you know what our purpose is. You know what our mission is. And everybody can buy into that. And the way if you get everybody to buy into where you're going, then it's easy to measure. And you'll notice we measure a lot of things in the foundation. We have all kinds of leaderboards because learning is a game and games are fun. And so that's why we do so many fun things. And we want to make sure that we recognize you for your hard work and that you're making a difference in people's lives. That video about my birthday was just touching. That's how I get paid is by knowing that I'm making a difference in somebody's life. And so that's why you need to get that feedback that you're actually making a difference in people's lives. So you got to have goals, games, make it into a game. Games are fun. Make your business different from others. Find out what everybody else is doing, then don't do it. Find out what people need and then supply it. As I've traveled around the world, you go to places and they're selling the same exact thing on all these different corners that are selling the same thing. Well, they need to find something that's a little bit different that people want. Ask questions, ask questions, ask questions. You'll notice we do a lot of job forms and we ask a lot of questions because I need to know what you need. You are the agenda. I'm here to find out what you need, and with my experience is to be able to deliver that to you. So make that business a little bit different, and the way you do that is by ask. The guys that did Katzenberg and Spielberg and Griffin created the new DreamWorks studio. And the one thing that Katzenberg keeps saying, he says, think and ask, find what they need, find a way to solve it, connect with people, be a connector, and make things happen. So those are the 25 steps, 25 ways. I highly suggest you go through those. And those are on your Earn While You Learn. So we're actually paying you to go through and learn those steps, because your small business is so vital to what you're doing. You all need a small business. If you make a lot of money doing what you're doing, you need to say, how much money am I making doing this? If you're making money as a teacher and you love being a teacher, that's great. But as you do these other things like investing, you'll make more money as an investor per hour. If that's what you're doing, than you will as a teacher. You know, you might make $20,000, $30,000 a year teaching, $40,000 a year. Well, flipping 1 or 2 properties a year, you'll make that much money as well. So that's what we've got for today. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned. All of you guys that are here with us right now, we're going to hand out some job forms. We're going to pay out some money, and we want to do send out a lot of money for our Make a Difference program. So we're going to say goodbye to our friends from around the world, and then we're going to chat with all the people that are here live. If you're watching this afterwards, make sure that you share this with friends. And in addition to that, see if you can come into the live classes, because that's really the mechanical way that we have that we can find out what you've done and be able to send out that money to you, because logistically it's a challenge. So just simply go to the successmoneyfoundation.org, and there will be a link. And most of those Zoom links are on social media as well. Thanks for watching, everybody. And thank you for that wonderful, wonderful birthday. That was incredible. And we'll see you all next week.